Hey everybody, Dr. Wenzel, Brentwood MD. In this video, I'm going to be unpacking why men give up on their health. The punchline? Regret. Regret is the ultimate killer of a man's goals, dreams, and aspirations. However, we don't wake up one day feeling regret. There is a predictable process that we all go through in order to eventually experience regret. And as a guy who has been sitting front seat with many, many people as they enter the end phases of their life, I can tell you without any reservation that the worst emotional experience you can have as a human, I'm convinced, is regret. I'm going to hope to help you unpack this topic to prevent that proverbial iceberg as it pertains to your health. When we talk about health, I've got three areas of health that I like to focus on as pillars. Number one, we have our financial and professional health. We have our physical health, our body, and then we have emotional health. This is a heart and mind type situation. In each of these three categories of health, I believe fueling the flames of regret are these lies that we have been taught and believed and implemented based on culture and society. Two in each category. This is just, as I see it, the most common lies that we have to unpack, even at the highest level with some of my men when I take care of them. When it comes to financial and professional health, the first idea, this work-life balance, that it's some neutral, static state. What a bunch of garbage. Nothing in nature is static. It's living and breathing and moving. There are seasons of offense and seasons of defense. There will be seasons of your life where you're all in on the business, and there'll be seasons of time where you need to be all in out of the business. And sometimes you'll be in and out. But this idea that balance is this, that's not the goal. The goal is a healthier relationship where you have enough downtime to recover and enough time pressing in to be productive and moving things forward. The other lie is retirement. Look, this has been beat to death by many people who are far smarter than me, but this notion that we work really hard, we get a good job, we put lots of effort, and we sacrifice all of our best years so that one day, maybe, if we're lucky, we'll get a chance to live our life. What a bunch of garbage. This is our only lap around the track. We don't get more time at the end. We have to make the most of the moments that we have. And the idea that you retire is very negative and very detrimental to your psychology. From a health standpoint, it's an accelerator of early death. There's great data showing that when you send your mind out to pasture in a retirement frame of mind where I've got nothing to do, your body follows right behind. We've got to break this retirement idea. In our physical health, probably one of the greatest negative impactors to our overall physical health as men is this notion of ignoring a borderline diagnosis. I'm borderline hypertension, borderline diabetes, borderline obesity, I'm borderline depressed, I'm borderline, like this idea that borderline means you don't have it. Listen, every disease lives on a spectrum. On one end you have optimal or ideal. On the other end you have bad disease. And we live on this spectrum where we're either pursuing or mapping towards disease or towards ideal. We need to be honest about where we are, because nobody wakes up one day with heart disease. Nobody wakes up one day with cancer. That has been brewing in the background forever. It's time to be more proactive about this and divorce ourselves from this idea of borderline being okay to ignore. A lot of that, by the way, is fueled in our sick care health delivery model. We don't have health care, we have sick care, and the system actually is very inefficient at dealing with you or anyone else who wants to get healthy who has yet to officially have a disease. So this is a byproduct of our current state of healthcare delivery, which is sick care. The next thing is that fat loss, this is 40 years of nutritional heresy, and that is rooted in the fact that fat loss is nothing more than a math problem. And calories in, calories out, that somehow all calories go into one bucket and we spend and utilize them all exactly the same and have the same downstream impact. I've created a lot of content around this. This is not a math problem. Fat on our body is a hormonal problem, and we've got to unpack and get rid of this math equation. It's not that math doesn't matter. It's more of a biochemistry problem. In our emotional health, we've got things breathing down our neck that tell us we need to eliminate stress. What a bunch of garbage. I get the pleasure of taking care of some people who are doing life at the absolute highest level, where their decisions literally are impacting the planet. And I can promise you they have stress. Every level of success has new challenges, new opportunities, new stressors, new vulnerabilities. You have to get better at managing stress and remove the idea that stress goes away. Stress is part of the human condition. As long as you're upright, there will be stress. You've got to get better at managing it. And lastly, in this world of hyperconnectivity, we've never been more connected. There's never been more information at our fingertip, yet we've never craved true, authentic relationship and connection more than we do now. We need to get rid of this idea of width over depth. Depth has to be the North Star. We can't keep pursuing vanity metrics that just don't actually move the needle of the quality of our life. I think all of these lies, and I'm sure there's others, these are just the ones that I thought of and that I see all the time, fuel a 3-step process that ultimately leads men to punt their health. Completely, it's no longer a goal. It's no longer achievable. I'm therefore not pursuing it anymore. I have given up. And that is, these lies fuel inconsistency and unpredictability based on your outcomes. We've all experienced these things. And when you start to get inconsistent and unpredictable in any area of your life, you start to accumulate losses. We start to rack up losses. Those losses over time start to compound, and the awareness of losing time and the losses themselves begin to plant the seeds of regret, which only makes you more inconsistent and unpredictable. And it's this vicious downward cycle. And regret eventually becomes the cancer that takes over our ability to be resourceful and to pursue goals around our health. And listen, if you're young enough and none of this pertains to you yet, great. Be on the lookout. Anticipation is the game. Be able to look for areas in your life where you're seeing inconsistency and unpredictability, where you're starting to rack up losses that you didn't before. Don't wait until regret sets in. If you've already got regret set in any one of these areas of your life, this is the time to reverse engineer. What false truth have you been influenced by? Where is there an area for you to unpack some trauma from the past? Where are you focusing on minor things that you've mastered but that are utterly insignificant? Keeping the main thing, getting very, very clear on the goal. I've created a lot of content around how to do this, how to identify it, how to identify the right provider that can help you navigate this. I hope this is enlightening to you. I hope it is encouraging. You are not in this alone. Every man goes through this, and I hope this is useful. Until we meet again, take care.